It is uh Thursday? Oh my goodness. I am a little bit sick, so please excuse my voice, but so good to see you all again. Hello, hello. I've already started saying hi to some people in the Behance chat. So hello again, Robert, and is it Riki? Oliver, Idara, Ray, oh, and Jack. Kane, and hello. Hi. Oh, and Idara's over on YouTube as well. Can we all see me? Can we see me? I know we had a little technical difficulties last time, so hopefully you can see me, you can hear me. Wonderful. It is time for our final stream in our three-part stream challenge. So, if you hello Uma. Hope you're all doing well. So, if you remember, at the start of our September creative challenge, our challenge was to create a autumnal motif that we would transform into a pattern that we were going to use in a real world application. Hence the title of this stream. So, I've got a little surprise for you, which I'm quite excited to show you later. We can hear you. Yay! Thank you for confirming for me. So, before we get started, why don't we have a little recap? Like I was saying. So, the very first stream, we had a little bit of a brainstorm. I like saying brainstorm, it's got my name in it. We were thinking of things that would kind of evoke the feeling of autumn or fall, depending on what side of the pond you're on. So we had some trees, some red coloured leaves, pumpkins, hot drinks, all that sort of thing. I created a starter file for every single stream, and this stream is no different. So the very first stream, you had this one where if you were a little unsure about how to create the shapes, we used a whole bunch of the basic shape tools like squares, pen tools, ellipses, you name it, to create these shapes. But I made some of these for you. Or you could use the generative AI function to generate a vector for yourself. Did I say hello to Kane already? Hello. Oh my goodness, I'm dropping my phone. And then from there, we needed to convert them into a pattern, which we did over here. We went over a couple of different ways we could do that. So from any object that you created, we used a couple that we mixed together, but you can either go to object and you can go to pattern and make. You can drag your selection of objects into the swatches, and that makes a pattern for you, like a pattern swatch. Or you can go into repeat and do things like grid and radial and mirror, which has their own different effects. But we were going for a more manual one, so we could create a repeating pattern. But this was your starter file if you were unsure about how to do that. Now for this stream, someone actually asked this last week, how would you use your patterns? So, I have another example for you. I feel like Blue Peter, here's one I made earlier. So, I've prepared a mug and a phone case, and I'm going to show you how to use the patterns that you made in your last stream to mock onto these items so you can see what it looks like. And there's a few interesting ways that you can do that. So, why don't we go back to my one? So, if you remember, this is what we ended up coming up with. I actually really like it. Makes me feel all warm and fuzzy. We did two versions, one with a sort of coffee stained background and one completely transparent. So it's really your imagination is the limit as to what you can use these on. The mug is a good example. Like I said, so I've done one here using a tool called the live mockup tool, which is a beta function, so you might have to check that your version of Illustrator has this option enabled, which is really cool because it basically takes your pattern and wraps it around the object once it recognizes it, which is really cool. Thank you, Idara. So Idara has dropped a link. Hi, Phil. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a nice walk. Hang on. So over on Behance, Idara has dropped a link to the starter file. So if you just need a product mock, you can go use that. Blue Peter next will be making stuff with eggs in boxes, old loo roll tubes, and sticky back plastic. Don't get me started. Okay, I only have 30 minutes here. Sound better than usual, Storm, so hop on computer and net will be kind to you. I sound better than usual today? Well, thank you. I have been trying to fix my computer. He's a little old though. Yes, oh perfect. I would love to see what you lot come up with. That would be amazing. Oh, Adara's dropped the link over on YouTube as well. So, like I said, we've got a mug. Here's another example over here. We got a hoodie. So, if you don't want to use the live wrap function, which I will show you how to do, you can just create a square over the object. I think it was best for me to use the transparent one so I could see what it looks like over here, which actually would look it'd look all right. I think it'd look okay. I actually quite like that sort of thing. I wouldn't mind that. I'm giving myself ideas. I don't need to be buying more hoodies, you know. Also, we have this mug here, which is what I want to show you how to use this function. Oh, I also want to show you how you can change the shape of your pattern, because maybe you want to resize it, but you don't want the pumpkins to be massive on your repeating pattern. Maybe you want them to be smaller. So the cool thing about making a pattern in the swatch is that you don't have to stop customizing it from there. You can, in fact, for example, like I was just saying, if you right click, go to transform and scale, make sure you unclick transform objects, you can actually see what your pattern would look like if it was bigger. For example, let's change it to 150. Looks interesting, maybe 300. That's a little bit too big. Or I could do really, really tiny and see what it looks like at 30%. That's a bit too small for me, but that's a really cool way of uniformly shrinking or enlarging and biggening. I'm not sure what word to use there, but you get the idea. So that's how I did this versus this, because they are different sizes, but it's the exact same pattern. Because if you were to just click and drag, it could distort it, which isn't really what you want to do. So maybe you want to resize it in that sense. Could you use the pattern for gift wrapping paper, wallpaper, or poster? Oh, I'm so glad you mentioned that. Hold on to that thought, because I have got something to show you. But yes, you can 100% absolutely do that. In which case, you would just need to set an artboard, set a new document, and set the artboard to whatever size you wanted to print. In the case of a poster, Adobe Illustrator has a lot of really great presets set for you, so like A4, A3, A1, and you can just set a document size for that, put in your design there, and take it to the printers. In which case you want to make sure you remember to use something like a JPEG or a PNG file when you export it. Also remember, do you not know much about what's the word I'm looking for? Color profiles, color settings. This one took me a long time to remember. I'm going to show you how I remembered it. So, if I go down to document color mode, there are two modes that you're typically going to use, CMYK and RGB. When you're taking it to the printers, you want to use CMYK. Robert says a pizza box. Could use it for a pizza box. Could you imagine getting a pizza box with this sort of pattern on it? I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't say no, actually. But as far as the color mode goes, you want CMYK for printing and RGB for web. The way I remembered it is RGB is 3 letters and so is web. It's very simple, but sometimes simple works best. So just remember to set your document's color mode correctly. The colors will come out slightly differently if you print, and you won't know why, and that will probably be why. I have no idea, Danielle. That is a very good question. If someone knows, then feel free to drop it in the comments because cybersecurity is not my speciality. Mm-mm. I hope you can find someone that can help you though. That's kind of scary. Hello Raquel. How are you? So, right, back onto using the mockup wrapping tool. So, let's say you've got your pattern or your logo or whatever. In this case, pattern. You want to select the object and to select the cup. Just those two. You want to go to Object, down to Mockup, and create Mockup. Give it a little while, please. You know, be kind to my old PC. He's a little bit old. The reason why I was showing you a different option before with the hoodie is in case you've got a slightly older PC like mine, maybe this may not be the most efficient way for you to check the mockups, but it is a cool feature. So if you have got the graphical power to do so, I highly recommend you try it out. Hopefully my computer can do it. There we go. So, and you see there, it's recognized that it's a cup. It's a sort of cylindrical shape, and it's wrapped my design around it, which is really cool. Ordinarily, what I'd suggest is you could double click it and move it around so you could see how that looks around the object. My computer can't handle that, so I'm not going to be doing that, but I trust you'll be able to do it. The other thing that I would say to do, if you see over here on the layers side where it has the mock-ups, can you see there, it's kind of grouped them together, right? So you've got the cup down here, you've got the pattern up top. I would probably just say change your blending mode to multiply or something, depending on the background, so you can at least see it with the shadows and things like that, so you get a better idea of what that would actually look like. Nice glasses, thank you. I do like my glasses. They're a little bit chunky, but I got these ones because I left my last ones on the plane, so happy accident, those sort of things. Great advice. I always ask the printer what color profile they require, as printing digitally can be RGB. It's a good point. I remember having this problem for years when I was at school, and I never understood why it would look one way on the PC on the screen and a different way when you print it. And I could never remember which was which, and so you probably want to be working in the color profile that the final product is going to be in, if that makes sense. If you're planning on printing this product, then make sure you are in CMYK. If it's going on to web, start in RGB. That makes sense? Okay, so I've done the multiply. Thought my computer was going to give up the ghost there. So you can kind of see it applies the shadows and everything to it, which is really cool. So we've got that going on there. And then we've got our t-shirt man. Let's I think we'll use the version with the background on it. So in this instance, just because I don't want my computer to complain at me again, I'm going to select a new layer, grab a square, and I am going to draw a square. Yeah, I'd say like that maybe. And then because we made our patterns into a swatch, I can just select it over here. Now, you remember what I was saying about it just kind of applying the shape pattern. So that's not enough of the pattern that I want to see. So again, we'll right click, we'll go to transform and scale, and then I will scale down. And there we go. I can see more of the pattern already, which is perfect. I actually quite like that. I think that's very cute. I would not mind having that on a t-shirt. Obviously, if you use the mock-up tool, you'd be able to have it sort of wrap around the chest and around the folds and things like that, which you can kind of see happening on the cups, but just because my computer's not powerful enough, we'll leave that sometimes. Sometimes instead of using the mock-up feature, I create a 3D object in Illustrator and save the art as a symbol and apply it to the 3D. That's a really good idea as well. I fear the same thing will happen with my computer though. It's like 10 years old, so another really great option that Raquel has suggested there for the folks in on Behance that can't see it. Raquel was saying that if you can't use the mockup or if you don't want to use that, creating a 3D object is another great option for doing that. Oliver says, yeah, always check with your printers what they're expected to be sent. Yes, very, very good thing to do. Make friends with your printers. I went somewhere yesterday and I made friends with my new local printers, and they are such lovely guys. And they did me a solid, so I'm going to show you what I got printed. 10 minutes. Yes, thank you so much, Robert. Or use sRGB for your monitor. Calibrate your monitor. Yes. Yes, calibrate your monitor. So, on the quick subject of saying you can continue to tweak your patterns, because maybe you know, it's okay, it's all right, but we can still continue to tweak it and change it. We've done this function before on a different stream where I've showed you how to use the regenerative recolor function. So remember, if you can't find it, you can just go and search for recolor over on the magnifying glass in the top right. If you hover over it, it tells you where it is. Edit colors, recolor artwork. Recolor spelt the American way. There is no U. There should be a U there. I won't get into it. So if we go to generative recolor, I'm going to just type in autumn, generate. Because the color palette's all right, but I'm sure we can do other things with it as well. Hi, Frank. How are you? Hi, Peter. My laptop would be burning a hole in the desk by now doing all this. Oh, you can't hear it, but my PC is not happy. Okay, so here we go. So if I just click now, because I've got them all selected, it just recolors everything. And I actually really like this one. It's giving me old Sonic the Hedgehog vibes. You remember the mushroom zone? That's what this is giving me. I really like that. But you can continue to add more colors, do different prompts. And if you click on it, then it just recolors everything for you. And I really like that. Really like that feature. Thanks, Axel. I actually really like this pattern too. I did not know where I was going with it when I first started this stream like 3 weeks ago. But I'm like, you know what? Okay. All right. So what I ended up making myself was this little beauty over here. So the other most obvious thing you could do with your pattern is to create a poster, right? So this is the one that I ended up making. You can do whatever you want with this sort of design. I just drew a square on it, but obviously if you use a different shape, for example, a circle, let me hide some of these things. Oh, I'm hiding the wrong things, no wonder. My computer's like, what you doing, woman? What you doing? All right, so if you create any other shape, for example, a heart, that's actually really cute. That'll just go over there. Thank you, Robert. That'll go there as well. I think I did an ellipse. Yeah, I did. But you can always change any of these because the pattern works exactly like a swatch, right? So as soon as you've created it, all you have to do is change it from a color to the pattern, and then you can just resize the pattern as I showed you before. But the reason why I wanted to show you this poster is because, ta-da! So, I'm not sure if you can actually see me there. So I got mine printed up. So this is a perfect example of what you can actually do with your pattern. And this is 100% going to be going on my wall as soon as the stream is done. But I'm so happy. So I was in CMYK color, the color mode, put this as an A3 on an A3 document, saved it as a, I think this one was saved as a JPEG actually, but I saved my Illustrator file to take it to them in case something needed changing on the fly. And they printed it out for me. How's LA? Probably not talking to me, I'm not in LA. But there you go. So whatever you decide to use your pattern in, and I hope you do, I would love to see what you end up making. It's just a nice little exercise. I'm not sure you could hear me there. It's a nice little exercise to just create something completely custom for yourself, because we're all creative. You have the chance to, the ability to create your own design as well. Thank you, Robert. Actually, that is probably it. So we went from start creating shapes to a finished poster, which is what I wanted to be able to show you. So I hope you had a good idea of how that works, and I hope you make something with your patterns and your designs and you enjoy the rest of autumn. Thank you so much, Axel. I really, I'm actually really happy with it myself. Thank you, Raquel. So, I actually think that's it from me. We only have, well, like 5 minutes left. As Robert was saying, seasonal kitchen art, terrific. Oh my gosh, I keep hitting my microphone. I thought I wasn't going to do it today, but I still did it. Well, that's all from me. Please stick around. We have got another creative challenge stream just after me with Sin. You've been wonderful. Good luck with your creative challenge, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.